Here. I'm here today to do my September TBR. For those that don't know, I am finally going back to work. I'm a teacher. I'm a theater teacher in New York City, and we start work this week. I had such a great 2 months off. I'm really excited to dive back into my job, but also hopefully get a lot of reading done. Also, this month, always September 1st, always reminds me of Harry Potter, and I know that it's technically like the off season, like you're like this isn't like a scheduled readathon, but I know a couple of the people that I follow, like Super Space Chick and Alexa Loves Books, they're doing a round of the Owl Readathon that was hosted by Book Roast, and I decided I would give it a shot. It may take me 2 months to finish it, honestly, but that's okay. I always have a very, very large TBR because I have a TBR cart, and I just kind of like fill up the first row of my cart with all the books that I want to read, and then it kind of dwindles down after month after month. So I recently refilled my TBR cart, so this is where I'm pulling all those books from, and all these books do correspond to my challenges. So let's get into my TBR and the books that I hope to tackle for the month of September. The first book I'm going to talk about is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. That is the final conclusion to her Throne of Glass series. I'm about 25 chapters into it, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So that's one of the books for the Time Warp YA Book Club. The book for the Time Warp YA Book Club is a much older release, and it's Ignite the Stars by Maura Milan. This is a science fiction book that I got from Albert and Whitney and Company last year at BEA. But this is another like science fiction themed novel. It follows a girl who's an infamous outlaw, a criminal mastermind, and unfriended by it. Aya has spent her life terrorizing the Olympia Commonwealth, the imperialist nation that destroyed her home. When the Commonwealth captures her and her true identity is exposed, they seize it as an opportunity by forcing her to serve them. She will soon prove they will prove that no one is beyond their control. Soon Aya is trapped in the Commonwealth Military Academy, and new acquaintances burn an average student with a closely held secret, and their charming flightmaster knives causes her to question her alliances. Can Aya escape the Commonwealth clutches before these bonds deepen? And I know that the sequel just came out. I think it's called Eclipse the Stars, and I do have that on NetGalley. So if I wind up really liking this book, I might wind up diving into that one. But this is the second book that was chosen for the Time Warp YA Book Club. And if you are interested in joining that book club, just click the link below and press join. The book that I'm also in the middle of reading is House of Salt and Sorrow by Erin Craig. This was the Owl Crate book for the month of August, and I'm really liking it. I'm actually can't wait to be done filming so I can actually go and read this. But thoroughly, really enjoying reading. I can't wait to give you guys my thoughts when I am done with it. Sorry, I have a lot of lists that I want to make sure that I don't mess up. And then the next book I'm going to chat about, I found a couple of different prompts for each category. So if these aren't the newest prompts, I apologize. I tried to get the newest prompts, but I was working from one list and then my list changed halfway through. So some of these prompts might be a little bit older. Some of these might not be the newest prompts, but you know what? Reading thongs are just supposed to be fun. We're just going to go with it. But the next book that I'm going to read is Keeper of the Lost Cities Never Seen, and this was for the Defense of the Dark Arts category. And this was a book about a secret society, which I think definitely is apropos for this. I don't want to spoil it, but if you've read the series, you know what I'm talking about. And the next book I'm going to hopefully try to read is Serpent and Dove, and this one had a bunch of different categories that I wound up going to. It was originally supposed to be for charms, but then I wound up getting to herbology because it has leaves on the cover, which is like has a plant on the cover. So this is the one that I'm actually wind up reading for herbology, but this is a fantasy novel that I've heard such good things about, and actually was able to meet the author in July, and she was lovely, and I really hope that I enjoy this. This is a fantasy novel where a witch has to marry a witch hunter, which I imagine will be very, very complicated. And then the next book that I wound up hopefully picking up is another book that's going to be featured on my fall TBR video. But this is Hunting Prince Dracula. This is the second book in her Stalking Jack the Ripper series that I've had for a while and just never dived into. And the reason I picked this one up, not only is it a fall read, but it also has red on the cover, and that was the prompt. It has to have red on the cover or sprayed edges. But yes, I want to Hunting Prince Dracula. And I'm really excited to dive back into this read, and hopefully I enjoy it, because I really do recall liking Stalking Jack the Ripper. And then the next book that I wound up picking up is for Arithmancy. You need a book that's by 2 authors, and I wound up picking up The Beast by Ali Condi and Brandon Reich. This does come out October 1st. I really loved The Dark Deep last year. I watched Stranger Things Season 3, and I want something supposed to be similar. I would say that this is definitely Stranger Things, but for like the middle grade set, and I really hope that I like the second installment in that series. And then the next prompt that I wound up picking was a retelling, which is Rune's Class, and I wound up picking up Reign of Shadows, and I think that this is I think it's either a retelling of Sleeping Beauty or Rapunzel. So yeah, this is like a really, really short read too. It's like not even 300 pages, but I really hope that I like it as well. This also does have like leaves on the cover, and if I could find my copy of Hunted, I don't know where that meant. I might wind up reading that. I just couldn't find it, so this might change depending on if I could actually find Hunted. And then this doesn't really have like a prompt, but I really do want to read The Gray Share by Kim Liggett. This book does come out in September, and I know that this is basically like a modern day version of The Handmaid's Tale, but it has to do with more with magical elements. And I really love Kim Liggett. I've met her so many times. Never had a chance to read one of her books, so hopefully this month is the month. Another book that I really hope that I get to read is Lowkey by Mackenzie Lee, Where Mischief Lies, and I am actually borrowing this from my friend Sarah, so it's not actually my copy, so I really would like to read this before I have to read it quickly so I can actually give it back to her. I don't know anything what this is about. Have no idea. But hopefully I like it. I've never actually read one of the Disney superhero books, so we will see if I like it. This is another one that's going to be on my fall TBR, but it is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh, and this is a vampire-themed novel. Again, I have had mixed feelings about vampire novels throughout most of my life, but the Vampire Academy and Bloodline series really did change up my mind, so I'm hopeful this book will be just as a positive reading experience at those and nothing like Twilight. And if I do like her, I will probably go to the signing and meet her, and that is in like the end, the middle of October. So it's a note as well. This is another book that is coming out very, very, I think it's coming out in like January, but recently I did read The Start of Me and You by Emery Lord, and this is The Map from Here to There by Emery Lord. This does not come out to January 7th, but you know what? Sometimes when school starts, I need like a really, really fun, fluffy contemporary, and this might be perfect. And it's also about a senior year in high school, and it's set in senior year. And then History of Magic for that prompt was read a book that was published 10 years ago, and that is Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. I have all 3 of these books. My friend Alex gave them to me a while ago, and I just never wound up reading it. So hopefully I like it. I've heard very, very good things. I know Reagan really, really likes this book, so hopefully I enjoy it as well. And then #Murder Trending. I just got to meet Gretchen McNeil when I went to the Books of Wonder signing, so I really hope I like this, and I have a girl that is like loves horror books, so hopefully I can give this to her. But it's basically about a society where good and honest citizens can enjoy watching the executions of society's most infamous convicted felons, streaming on the Postman app from their subterranean prison island, Alcatraz 2.0. And it follows a character named Dee, and she thinks she's in this island, but she did not actually commit the crime. So that's the drama with that. And then one of my books that I got from Book of the Month, I'm trying to dive back into historical fiction reads, is The Downstairs Girl by Stacey Lee. And I've actually heard some very good things about this book. It's a historical fiction read. It is set in the South, and this girl is like an Vice columnist, but her column gets a little bit more scandalized, and you see the drama that happens. So this isn't actually a prompt, but it does have to do with Book of the Month. And I'm trying to stay up to date on my book boxes, so this is the next one that I must read. And then going back to the new Readathon, one of the things was read a sequel, and that is Deadly Little Scandals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the sequel to what was the sequel? Little White Lies. And I actually really wound up liking this book. So hopefully I like this book. And this book does not actually come out until November. So I do have some time. And then this is another book from Owlkite that I really need to get a move on. But this is We Hunt the Flame by Ashasha Faisal. This was the May Owlkite book. And I actually really hope that I like it. It's another fantasy novel. But yeah, so that is the next read that I hope to read. And then the last read on this massive TBR is For the Prompt. Charms, where you must read an adult book. And I wound up picking up The Paris Seamstress by Natasha Leister. And this is a book set in 1940 and present day. And if you like Lilac Girls and The Nightingale, you should pick this up. And I've heard great things about this book. It's high on my TBR. I'm so afraid all these books are going to fall over. So in addition to reading Kingdom of Ash, I also want to start and try to read The Cruel Prince as well. So let me know in the comments what are some of the books that are on your full TBR. I'm also participate in the TBR and Beyond Challenge for the month of September, which I will definitely be sharing more in my reading vlogs. But yeah, let me know what book you're most excited to read this month. I don't know. I have so many choices, but I'm really excited to read Serpent and Dove and Keeper of the Lost Cities Never Seen. But I'll talk to you guys at the end of September for my reading wrap up, and I'll talk to you guys during the month for more videos, and I'll talk to you guys later, and have a great month. Bye, guys.